Well, hello guys, and welcome to my thoughts on the PlayStation E3 experience. We have a lot to talk about and so little time to do it. Oh my gosh. Okay, this may be the best one yet. Well, it's between this and Bethesda. Let's go through. So they had like this they had like an opera house, this grand stage, a full like orchestra. They know they're winning and they are bragging so hard right now. The conference literally could have started off with "Screw you, Microsoft," and we all would have been like, yeah, that's kind of what you're saying. Like, seriously, that could have been the theme of the conference. From there, God of War. They're rebooting God of War, going for a Nordic theme, or I'm 90% sure it's a remake, or a reboot. Reboot. They're doing Nordic gods. We see some of the trailer. I expected that kid to die. I honestly expected him to die. He didn't. But yeah, it's Dad of War. I don't know. It's very Skyrim. You can see all of the Skyrim influence. There's even a freaking dragon, and I know Skyrim doesn't own dragons, but you guys know what I mean. I'd like to see where it goes. They did, right after that, they did an Orlando tribute. This is how you do an Orlando tribute. Well said. Good. Let's continue on. Days Gone. This is a new IP. It's a post-apocalyptic biker game. You know, Ride to Hell Retribution 2. We swear to God it'll be good this time. At first I was like, okay, it's going to be like, oh, the population's wiped out. You're on the humanity's on the brink of extinction and you're a bounty hunter. And then they introduced zombies. And I was like, no, I don't care anymore. It kind of lost me right there. There are a lot of zombies, but even still, it lost me. Next up, The Last Guardian, which they did show off. They had like a 2-minute trailer, and yet we still know nothing about the game. Nothing whatsoever. I mean, like, we see a chimera, the giant chihuahua thing. We see an evil chihuahua. The graphics do look better, even if the shading still needs some work. We got an October release date, which is good. That's finally. Horizon Zero Dawn still looks good. It reminds me of Far Cry. It's Far Cry with robots. There was this really cool, I like this. At one point, she like takes the staff and like shoves it into like this bull's head and hacks it, and like then rides it. I was like, okay, that is really cool. I like that. I like the robots. Some of the scenery is really nice. I'm totally on board with this. I know it got delayed until next year. What? Oh, wait. Detroit. What was it? Detroit Become Human? It's basically a detective game. It's David Cage. It's a detective game about like a future with like robots, and you're like a robot detective. They show out all these different outcomes, David Cage style. It does look interesting. I like the concept behind the game. I just wonder where they're going to take it. Next up, okay. So they start off the whole VR experience thing. And they show this where it's like, oh, this person walking through a house, another kitchen, whatever. This is the second horror game to have a kitchen. But yeah, and they're like, oh, it's walking through the house, and it's like, okay, there's like these little horrors, puts in a tape, the thing goes crazy, and then it's revealed, Resident Evil 7. And I was like, no. Bad game. Go to your room. The reason why is it's VR. No. And I think VR is cool, but no, that's not. I mean, like, okay, yes, they are going back to. It's clear, instead of doing like the whole action game like Resident Evil 6, they're going back to their roots of horror. But I don't know I don't know. I didn't like it personally. I don't know. Maybe they'll have to show me more. The PlayStation VR got a release date of October. They showed off some new games. Farpoint, which is like this. Oh, that's a weird sound. They showed off Farpoint, this like sci-fi shooter, which, yeah, that's basically all we know about it. They showed off Star Wars is getting this VR X-Wing mission thing coming to Battlefront, which, okay. I can see that getting you sick very easily. Batman Arkham VR, which I'm watching this trailer and I'm like, what's that voice? I recognize that voice. It's Mark Hamill. That's why. Final Fantasy 15. They showed off this, and it's like, this is a much better trailer than what Microsoft had. This is way better. Yeah, I would say it cancels out Microsoft's trailer. You got to see, I like the Chocobo. But no, yeah, again, it's whatever. They showed off Final Fantasy 15 VR, which I could care less, honestly. I really could. There was no Final Fantasy 7. I expected Final Fantasy 7 at some point or another. Nope, nothing whatsoever. Then they moved on to Infinite Warfare. At first, they start showing off this, like, space game. They're like, oh, look at this map, look at all this. And then it's like, what is this? And then it's like, oh, it's Infinite Warfare. And they're, like, shooting around, like, the outside of, like, a space station. And I'm going to be 100% honest with you guys. I thought it looked kind of cool, actually. It did look interesting. I will say that. And then the second they go into, like, they burst into the ship, it's Advanced Warfare. It looks just like Advanced Warfare. And I did think it looked interesting. But I was talking to my brother, and he's a Call of Duty fan. And he was like, it does, but it's not Call of Duty. This isn't what Call of Duty is. So it's like, maybe, I don't know. It's going to be an interesting one for sure. From there, Call of Duty 4, of course they're bringing that back. We learned nothing new. Crash Bandicoot. Okay, on one hand, I'm like, yes. Okay, they're remastering Crash Bandicoot, the second one, in the third one, and I'm like, okay, good. That's nice, but, they're bringing Crash Bandicoot to Skylanders. I remember, I like Skylanders, and yet this makes me, oh my gosh, I like Skylanders. I think they're good games. I've Let's Played 4 on this channel, and no. Crash Band, the reason why is Crash Bandicoot, or Skylanders started off with Spyro, and Spyro practically died from it. We haven't seen Spyro since, and yeah, I don't know if we ever will. Well, not for a long time. Crash Bandicoot, they're bringing him back for this, and this is going to be the last we see of him. They're going to bring him in Skylanders, he'll get this remastered, and I don't know if we'll ever see him again. I honestly think Skylanders may kill his, well, even, like, bury his series again. I'm against this, just because I know what this will do to a series. That makes me mad, but I know it's how it works. Next off, Lego Star Wars The Force Awakens. I'm glad it still has that Lego sense of humor. That makes me happy. They did this Death Stranding game. I think it's a game. It may be a movie. They brought out Kojima, and it was like, oh, cool. And then he's like, oh, look at this. Hey, look, it's Daryl from The Walking Dead. Isn't that cool, guys? And now he's covered in black ink blood. I don't. We know nothing. There was a bunch of dead fish. Whatever. This would have been a great place to end the show. Right there, that's where you end it. Nope. They kept going. Next, they showed off Spider-Man. They've given Spider-Man over to Insomniac. And I think they could pull this off. I really do. I had heard a rumor about this as well. As long as they get the web swinging right, like that one PS2 Spider-Man game, and if they get the combat right, because that was that game's problem. It didn't have good combat. But it does look like it has potential, so I'll wait and see. And finally, remember that zombie apocalypse game? This is how they ended the show. They went back to that zombie apocalypse game. Because before, like I said, it looked like a post-apocalyptic sort of shooter. Then it's a zombie game. And I'm like, no, this is not how you end the show. They did, of course, right after that, they did show off this trailer. A bunch of indie games were in it. And it was like, okay. But no, they should have ended it with the Kojima thing. That would have been the smart way to do it. And now the majority, and the great thing about this is that it was all games. There was maybe 5 minutes of talking. That was so great. It was just straight cut to the point. And I liked that. Overall, I did like this conference. It does, I don't know if it convinced me to get a PS4, because PS4 is the only console I don't have out of this generation. I don't think it convinced me to do that, but it is interesting nevertheless, and it does make me at least consider things, if only for The Last Guardian. But I hope you guys enjoyed, and stay tuned tomorrow for the Nintendo discussions, where we'll be talking about Pokemon in the morning and Zelda at night, or midday, who knows. Until then, peace.